It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say.
KBL, you a menace.
Yeah. It's a lot of little boys out here talking that talk, but ain't spinning and walking that walk. 5 bills to get you whacked, 50 shots up in this Mac, face shots to make the news, we just step when they relax, group chats to get you tapped, forehead up in my lap, when they pump we run it back, tell my youngin' cut no slack, 5 bills to get you whacked. What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about nothing but what the checks say. Make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young and Hefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topics is Yo Gotti and his Young Dolph trial. So this Young Dolph trial been going on, and we all know what happened. What took place back in 2021 in November was the slander of Young Dolph. Say Young Dolph was on his way to one of his favorite cookie pastry restaurants to grab some cookies, and it went all bad from there. You know, some dudes got up on him. From there, before then, it was a lot of situations that could have resulted in Young Dolph losing his life. You know what I'm saying? You know, he had made songs about 100 shots being let off on a bulletproof thing. I want to say even had a video of him just like, you know, sitting inside the car with it playing out, all type of stuff. However, I don't know, I'm not from Memphis. From what's being put out here on the social media space and from what I gathered from the social media space, it seemed like that him and Dolph had a beef going, you know what I'm saying? His record label against the CMG record label. As you always hear it, people pose it as if it was hate on Dolph part. I mean, hate on Gotti behalf. Being that Gotti, you know what I'm saying, was one of the most permanent dudes up to date out of Memphis, you know what I'm saying, that was rapping early on, you know what I'm saying, had a long, prosperous underground career until it prospered into mainstream. And, you know, it seemed like, you know, he seen Dolph. Dolph is talented. They say he wanted to sign Dolph. Said Dolph wasn't messing with it. Dolph was like, basically like, you know, I'm my own boss. Like, you know, I don't need to be signed. You know, I got a plan. And he put his plan into motion and he flourished. However, I don't know what happened. Not here to play reporter. Not here to play detective. You know what I'm saying? We just covering the situation and what's being said because it's street things entangled and what's going on in this. So, allegedly, some gunmen were hired by Big Jook, was supposed to be the boy Yo Gotti brother, to knock down Dolph. They say that it was a bounty on his head, like 100 on his head. However, these dudes that's in court fighting this case on Young Dolph, these dudes are starting to come out, and I don't know if they telling the truth or they telling the lies, but it seemed like they're starting to implement Big Jook in this and implement Yo Gotti in this. But the prosecution is also fighting back and saying like, well, why is Gotti and Jook coming up in this now? You know what I'm saying? This case been going on since 2021. An open case. I don't know when these dudes was apprehended and brought to jail, but why now? And it seems like the prosecution is asking, you know what I'm saying? And it's raising a question to a lot of other people. If their names were spoken in the beginning, people are asking why they wasn't investigated. How come nobody was an accessory to murder or anything like that? So it's a lot being said. These dudes are in these courtrooms, you know what I'm saying? Side conversations, all type of stuff. So we about to get into this content, and y'all already know, man, it's the Hef way and the Hef effect. We gonna commentate.
He made his own way in the music industry. And he created a label called PRE, Paper Route Empire. Hopkins will tell us about it. He'll tell us that Adolph Thornton made his way in the music industry and created opportunities for other artists. But when you create opportunities for others, some people don't seem to like that. So Hopkins will tell us about another label, CMG, also known as Cocaine Music Group. He'll tell us about the history and the tension between these two labels. He'll tell us that CMG wanted Thornton as their own, but when he decided to pave his own way, when he decided to be self-made, he became CMG's enemy. Hopkins is going to set the stage for how this story truly began. And after Hopkins, you'll hear from Cornelia Smith. And this is when it all will click. Smith is a co-defendant. He'll tell you that he met Govan in 2021. They met through Smith's friend, Bobby Carter. And Smith has a couple of nicknames for Govan. He calls him Big Bro or Quet. Govan started out by selling drugs to Smith, pills more specifically. But that's not the only thing that Govan did. Govan chose Smith. And Govan chose him to do a job. Govan also chose Justin Johnson, another co-defendant, to do that same job. A job that ended in the life and death of Adolph Thornton Jr. He chose two desperate people. Smith, needing money, needing to support his family. Justin Johnson, an aspiring and up-and-coming rap artist that wanted to be on CMG's label, the very label that Govan had access to and was affiliated with. Smith will also talk about a meeting at Govan's house. The people present at that meeting were Smith, Govan, Justin Johnson, and Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Jook is the number 2 person at the CMG label. Smith will tell you that Govan said that there was a bounty on Adolph Thornton's life. In fact, there were multiple bounties on PRE artists.
And then walk you through how much everybody's worth. You already knew all that.
You want me to be honest with you? I can be honest with you, because they were saying that Mr. Govan was like one straight or nothing like that, was like informing and stuff like that, and you know they were saying he was police, so
okay.
Yeah, well, all the phone gotta go outside, you know, when you talk around.
So let me back this up. You were told at the meeting that Mr. Govan could be police.
Nah, Bobby been told me that.
Bobby told you.
And then the streets talk, you know, people in the neighborhoods were saying that, you know, he had got him popped and he had got him sent to jail and he was setting them up and stuff like that.
So let's maybe go back to scratch. You just met this guy for a short period of time over the summer. Bobby's already told you he's a snitch, maybe works for the feds.
But you can't tell me nothing about no bad like that. If he ain't did no wrong to me, he ain't did no police stuff to me, he ain't police me, so I don't just take the streets say that about anybody, you know what I'm saying? They probably saying it about me right now.
Your friend Bobby Carter told you that. Your friend.
An associate. Okay. I don't have friends, I have associates.
Right. Your associate told you that this man that you just met is a federal snitch, you can't trust him, right?
Yeah, but people say that about anybody, man, you know what I'm saying? So, no, you ain't did no police stuff to me, like, I ain't got no bad to say about you, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
You cool, you did.
So,
you know, streets talk like that all the time, associates, or whatever. Because he probably seen how me and him was getting, and he ain't like that, so he come with the, man, you know, he's police, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't even know what people say.
all right, so let me just ask.
It's just like proving guilty and to prove innocent. You know what I'm saying? December the 8th, 2021. I was going to give me some pills, going one way, and he was coming up another way. And he looked through the mirror, on his windshield, I mean, and blew the horn. And I pulled over, he pulled over, and he got out the car. He was like, thank God. He was telling me that he been getting shot at and stuff. And he asked me, have I spoke to Mr. Justin Johnson? Because they had ran in Justin Johnson's house the night before or whatever. He showed me some things on his phone. And he was asking me, did I have a number he could get in touch with me on? He told me I need to get rid of my phone. I need to get rid of that phone, is all he was saying. And he was like, he was gonna go to Prevay that night and get my money. And he was gonna call me. He asked me for a number. And he was gonna call me.
Did he ever call?
Now the U.S. Marshal was on me the next day. I was in jail.
He didn't have a chance.
Nope.
Okay. So
All right, so y'all see right there, that black woman, that lawyer that's speaking, it's obviously that she's the lawyer of the guys that's in jail for the actual unaliving of young Dolph. So this lawyer, you know, she goes ahead and she gives the history that's been placed out there, that Yo Gotti was an up-and-coming artist that was popping out of Memphis area, and Yo Gotti wanted to sign him allegedly, and being that he started PRE, Paper Route Empire, and got it popping himself, he became an enemy of Yo Gotti. This is what they're saying in the court. So furthermore, to further that, these guys are coming out their mouth alleging that Big Juke put a meeting together and basically told them it was a bounty on young Dolph head. And so the lawyer pointed out, like, man, both of these guys are out here, two poverty-stricken guys that don't have no money. Another guy is a aspiring rap artist that wants to be signed to CMG. You think they not going to put the paperwork in? That's how the lawyer's trying to pose it to the jury in the courtroom. Like, man, this is what happened. They're telling the truth. They did not just come out of the blue and pick young Dolph to knock off and collect $100,000. There's a reason behind this. This lawyer is saying that these two guys were basically handpicked. It's furthermore going to be stated in this clip that during that meeting that Yo Gotti was allegedly present, but he really didn't speak. Big Juke did all the talking. And after that, these guys are alleging that they had slight interactions with Gotti, where Gotti would allegedly tell them what PRE was in town and or coming to town. Yeah, and right there, right, so in the second half of this clip that y'all seen after the lawyer talking, where you got this boy doing too goddamn much talking, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it looked like it's some information being dropped and there's some snitching going on. What I could gather from that scene is that basically, he was telling his alleged interactions with Juke. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like he was trying to say that basically what's being said, that, you know, he allegedly did the job, tapped in with Juke, or seen Juke in traffic. Juke waved him over. You know what I'm saying? And looked like he was only paid like $800 or $900 allegedly from what he say. All this could be a lie. He could be making this up just to try to get up out of there or get lesser time, man. We know how it go. And it could be one of them situations where that, being that it was a bounty on young Dolph head, these dudes took the liberty of self to enact that act and end that man's life, and probably try to go holler at these guys to see who had the $100,000 for him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling how this situation went. So, you know, I'm not here to be the judge or the jury. We just commentating And you know what I'm saying, just giving our analysis to the situation and dropping our opinion. That's all. So something else I wanted to point out that was real profound to me. They was questioning him. So first he came out and told these people that, oh yeah, man, you know, they said the boy was a snitch. You know what I'm saying? He was working with the people, blah, blah, blah. So prosecution and our questioner come right back. So if the streets are saying that this dude is hot and all bad, why are you hanging with this dude, doing any business with this dude? Anything. Like, you're a street dude. In the streets, it said that you're supposed to leave this guy alone and or do something to him if he's all bad. So what's going on? And you know what he say? He's got the attitude that the streets got, and why a lot of this stuff is dead out here today. Man, hey, he didn't tell on me. Man, he ain't tell on me. He ain't do nothing to me. He was good to me. As long as you good to a person and you didn't tell on them, they don't care who you told on, as long as you don't tell on me. And that's the selfishness that's being enacted and displayed out here on the daily. You know what I'm saying? So he did try to, oh, well, you know, the streets are just saying it. I can't believe what the streets were saying. Whoa. And he's right in that aspect. But you got to look into this. When this type of information is dropped on you, whether true or false, just inquiry. I have to look into this situation to see what the hell is going on, man. I got to. It ain't no I'm dealing with you because you didn't tell on me, man. But that's what these dudes is doing out here. We about to get into the last bit of this content. You already know, man, it's the Hef Way and the Hef Effect. We gonna commentate.
That Mr. Govan picked out two desperate people. Cornelius Smith, if you are to believe him, says in his statement, I just happened to be going by Quet's house, Govan's house, to buy some ecstasy pills with my girlfriend. Jook happened to be there. He doesn't say Quet said a word. Jook says there's a hit on everybody, and I got you. And Jook says, take the phones outside while I talk to you. Assuming you believe any of that's true. And the reason I ask you if you think any of that's true is the police never went to question Jook, aka Anthony Mims, or Yo Gotti, or any of the people with CMG. Never once even tried to do an interview. So this is as plain as day. Jook said do it. Quet didn't say anything. Quet lives in the poorest part of Memphis in Orange Mound, sells a few ecstasy pills to make a living, and hustles with some sports gambling. He's a nobody, and that's why I asked you about the peers. He's a throwaway that they can blame. Why did they not talk to Jook or anybody else with CMG? Ever. Now, Jook ended up getting killed in 2024, 2.5 years after the fact. Never arrested, never talked to, never interviewed, never pursued, never surveilled, nothing. The judge also told you, when you assess credibility, you need to look at how well you remember this thing. Cornelius Smith cannot even tell you when he was propositioned to go kill somebody. The shooting happened in November 17, 2021, and the best the police can say is that this meeting, where just randomly happened, as Cornelius himself has said, was sometime between August and September, 3 months prior to the shooting taking place. 3 months. He will tell you there's no plan. All he was told by Jook was there's a price on your heads. And that's kind of funny because when the cops, if they testify honestly, will tell you there have been multiple attempts on Mr. Dolph's life. Twice in Charlotte by other folks and once in Los Angeles. Everybody in Memphis knew there was a price on their head because there was a war between PRE and CMG. They were shooting each other. Yo Gotti's car was shot up here. The song 100 Shots came up after one of these things. There's a rivalry going on and people have been shooting. The police went through this. They know this. They also pulled YouTube videos where people are openly threatening to kill Dolph. It's in their slideshow. You know what they call their investigation? Operation Cookie Monster. That's how tasteful this whole thing has gotten with these folks. I'm sorry, my arms are shaking because I'm so furious that we're here as far as the trial goes. So the other thing the government hasn't told you when we talk about first impressions is, for weeks prior to the November 17, 2021 shooting, nobody called Govan, talked to him, did anything, be it Justin Johnson or Cornelius Smith. What Cornelius will tell you, which the government didn't tell you, is That morning, it was Cornelius's daughter's birthday, but he gets a call from Justin Johnson and says, I got a car, let's go do something. They get in the car and they start driving around just looking for somebody to kill. They just happened to see young Dolph's car going by, and they open fire, and they kill him. And the interesting thing is, even though nobody communicated with Govan for weeks prior to this, they didn't talk to him that morning. He didn't help him get the car. He didn't help him escape. He didn't tell him what to do. He didn't tell him where to go. He didn't do anything. It was a spontaneous issue between two young men that morning. They shot him, and you know why there's no plan? Because they just start calling random people after the shooting. They don't call Govan. They have to go someplace to get bandaged up as far as that goes. The people that help them, never been charged as accessories to anything. They then get rid of whatever they need to get rid of. They left the car across the street from Govan's house on the middle of the street, in front of the street. And just because he's a nobody and doesn't have money, like Gotti or Joe, his brother, who was never even questioned or charged, he's the fall guy in all this stuff. He didn't do anything. Even if you believe Cornelius, all he says is, I just happened to show up there, and he said, hey, it's a little seat. Joke took over and started doing all the talking. Do you think that man could pay somebody $100,000 and you'd say, yeah, he's good for it. I don't need any validation. He's good for it.
That's a cold game out here, man. And if you dealing, you better watch who you dealing with, man, because there's always snakes, man, and rats out there ready to do their bidding, man, and that's just how it go, man. Like I said, I'm not a crime fighter, so regardless of what I think went on in or happened, I just keep that to self, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, some things is just, you know, left for the streets to deal with. And if you a civilian, you know who you deal with. You deal with law enforcement. It is what it is. But, yeah, this lawyer said a lot right here, man. Like, basically, these dudes are nobodies. He talking about, you know, cars being left in the middle of the street, you know what I'm saying, in front of Govan's house. You know, he's basically saying that y'all just overlooking Gotti and Jug. Like, y'all ain't even questioned them. Y'all ain't brought them in for questioning. You know, y'all ain't ruffled a feather. You know what I'm saying? Like, their name is being mentioned, has been being mentioned, and it's just like, it's overshadowed and overlooked. Like, man, these the dudes we got. And this is how I feel about that situation, man. Like, I always hated when I heard that word forced, or people forced to do some more. They're trying to force you, man. You know, you go to jail for forcing. Like, man, if somebody tell you to go do something or pay you to go do something, that's crazy. Like, you go do it, you the one did it. If you in jail, man, do your bid and ride your time, man. Don't be trying to get nobody up or lie and say nobody did nothing. Because you the one pulled the trigger at the end of the day, and you the one that's guilty for that shit, and you the one that's sitting in jail for that shit, and you should have thought about it. Like, it's consequences out here, pros and cons, and you got to think about that shit definitely before you pull a goddamn trigger and don't know if you're going to get away or not. So with that being said, man, we going to conclude that there, man. Y'all can hop in the chats, man. Let me know what y'all think, man, about this situation, man. If they're going to get Gotti, if they're going to question him, if they're going to bring him in, or if he in the clear. With that being said, it's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. And press that button, and if you ring that notification bell, I'm gonna bring you mail.
He lose his life because he didn't know how to control his emotions. Cuz you fuck around, lose your emotions in the moment, cuz, and it'll cost you your motherfucking life, nigga. Or your motherfucking freedom. Temporary emotions, cuz, it'll cost you your life, nigga. Message of the day, control your emotions.